All right, hey VC, how you doing? My name is Jamie. Welcome back. It's the weekend, and I've got my scruffy weekend beard happening. I've got another unboxing for you on this one, and this is a sort of an anniversary celebration, if you will. They have re-released Brian Eno's Apollo Atmospheres and Soundtracks, and this, of course, in celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing in July earlier this month. And so, yeah, we're going to take a look at it. This was first released back in 1983, and this was Brian Eno music to essentially accompany a film. They were taking some of the footage from the Apollo 11 moon landing, and Brian Eno wrote this music to accompany it. And there is a really excellent, kind of short documentary. It's only about 15 minutes long, that's just been put out on YouTube, and it's simply called Brian Eno on Apollo. And I highly recommend you check it out. It's absolutely fascinating. It's about 15 minutes long. And one of the things Brian Eno talks about is remembering watching the Apollo 11 moon landing. I think he was at a friend's place or whatnot, and they had a small black and white TV, and he's watching it on this small black and white TV that doesn't, of course, really capture the grandeur and the essence of the moon landing. And he remembers watching it on a black and white TV, kind of small and staticky, and then looking up at a full moon and realizing that this is what's happening right now. This person is up there and I'm watching it live, which is just incredible. And I think certainly with this music with Brian Eno, he really wanted to capture more of the grandeur, the spectacle of the Apollo 11 moon landing that's not really captured on the small screen with journalists kind of talking over everything. So, and I really feel his music does capture that, and certainly with the images of the Apollo 11 moon landing, it really does capture that. So yeah, so we worked on this album with his brother Roger Eno, and also Daniel Lanois, great Canadian producer. Daniel Lanois then went on to produce people like Peter Gabriel, U2. Certainly Daniel Lanois, his name is quite well known. And so let's take a look inside and see what we got. And so here is the CD version. It came out on both the CD and vinyl, and we'll take a look at the vinyl as well. So there you have the CD, and this is a special 2-disc set, and this says Brian Eno with Daniel Lanois and Roger Eno, Apollo Extended Edition Atmospheres and Soundtracks. A 2 CD set includes the original Apollo LP remastered for the first time, plus For All Mankind, a brand new album of 11 instrumentals, and a 24-page full-color booklet. You have that, and it's in a nice kind of little sort of book form. And there you have the original album that came out in 1983. And then For All Mankind. So when this was first released, the soundtrack, they released it for a film called simply Apollo. And it didn't feature any narration or anything like that. Had a limited run. And then the filmmakers thought that maybe they could do a better job with the film. So then they worked on it, included some narration, that sort of thing, some interview clips and that sort of thing, and released it then later as a film called For All Mankind. But that took many years later. It didn't get released then till 1989. And subsequently, then Brian Eno had written some new music for that film. So the original one's called Apollo, and then they sort of remixed it, re-edited it, called For All Mankind. Now, if you're Googling this, what gets really weird and complicated, if you Google these movies now, for Apollo, you'll probably get Apollo 11, which is a new documentary that's out this year. That's not this film. And then if you Google For All Mankind, what you'll likely get is a new TV miniseries that's coming out in the fall that features a Canadian actor, Colin Feore, that, again, has nothing to do with this. So careful what you're Googling or what trailers you're watching, that sort of thing. All right. And a very nice outer shell here. And it looks like, yeah, the CDs just pop in like that. And we've certainly had, thanks for all the comments on the discussions about popping CDs in like this. That is not always desirable. But when you have it in the book form, I don't know how else you would have it. At least they're not overlapping. But they seem to pop out okay. So there's For All Mankind. And we'll take a look at what we have inside. Yeah, it looks like some nice pictures. Yeah, and sadly, I've never seen it. I've seen little clips from either the Apollo film or For All Mankind, but I've never, and I don't know why they don't just re-release it on like a big kind of IMAX kind of thing, but maybe they will. But there's certainly a lot of Apollo themed films coming out for sure. Yeah, okay, so there you have that. And it was also interesting when they did some of the music for this. This is also on this short little documentary. Again, it's called Brian Eno on Apollo. If you Google it, it's on YouTube. It's definitely well worth checking out. But Brian Eno, they talk about some of the music. Obviously, you get Brian Eno's wonderfully atmospheric music. But then they were also curious, what music did the astronauts listened to, because they were allowed to bring on a cassette, and this is a cassette back in 1969. Like they were allowed to bring some music on the flight, and pretty much they all chose country and western music, country music. So they slightly incorporated that. I mean, that was certainly in their thinking process of creating this music, and certainly with Daniel Lanois, with his wonderful ability on the steel guitar, the steel lap guitar. So they incorporated just a little bit of that through some of the tracks on this, which I thought was really interesting. That they're going into space, and what's the music that they bring? It's country and western, sort of. And then they kind of looked at that it was kind of that idea of new frontier kind of thing. So I thought that was really cool. So here I did go with the vinyl copy, and I don't own this originally. And I do find, though, when I see Brian Eno albums used, they often are really expensive, like really, I think, a little overpriced. I know Brian Eno is popular and whatnot in terms of the vinyl community, but boy, when I see used, like I have seen this album used several times, and just the price, I'm like, what? So, as I say, I don't have it, so I thought get the CD, but then I was like, I'd really like the vinyl version of it as well. And especially, it's quite nice that they include all the music on it, even the vinyl version as well. Everything is here, so pop it open like that. And let's see what's inside. Okay. And I really do. This music is, I really find it's absolutely beautiful. So there you go, there's that. And so again, this includes the original album and then the songs that he created for the film For All Mankind, which was also based on the original. Okay, so let's take a look inside and see what we've got. But yeah, there's so many Apollo movies, moon landing movies out that you can certainly take your pick of what you want to see. Be they documentaries or whatever. Okay. Oops, almost got it here. This is definitely gatefold, being 2 albums. Okay, sorry for the delay. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And yeah, no hype sticker on this. Interesting. Okay. There you have the song listings. And some text there. In the back. Oh, there goes my clock. Oops. Oops. Sorry. It's hard to tell which way's up on the moon. All right, so there's that. I'll take a look at the other one for you. Stunning, stunning pictures. And I'll hold these very gently because I've been told I don't hold the vinyl very nicely, that I too much with my fingerprints. Try to be careful. Okay, so there you have it. Really excited about this. Really looking forward to enjoying this, and how timely is this re-release. Brian Eno, Paulo, with Roger Eno and Daniel Lanois. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for stopping by, and do take care. And we'll chat again really soon. Take care. Bye-bye.